Mistake in the first apparatus, but the competition be thrown wide open. This is the apparatus where Milicevic lost it, and now can Gogin maintain. Leading off the first rotation, the silver medalist in the European Championships 2 years ago, a silver medalist in the World Championships a year ago, only managed to come in 4th position in Brisbane. As we've said before, so often the bridesmaid, Gina Gogin, and she finds herself stemming off a challenge from 3 Russians. Gina Gogin leads, and her second of the 4 apparatus, asymmetric bars.
Half twist, finishing the half. Bent knees in the Kachev. It's gone wrong, she had an extra swing. And so I think Romania's chances of the title have gone. Well, she scored 9-7 in the qualifying round, and she's not likely to score 9-7 for that. And she knows it. And I think Octavian Belu will be more than disappointed, not to say the whole Romanian camp. I hope that we manage to see there the bent knee, and she should then have gone straight back into the move. Bent arms on the top of the bar. But I think she knows that didn't go as well as it could have done. So we'll just see what the judges come up with.
Well, the asymmetric bars in Gogin's qualification, where she came second to teammate Milicevic, was her weakest of the 4 apparatus, as Monica pointed out, 9.750. So she won't be expecting her best performance, but she needs to stay in touch. Consistency is the name of the game, with the 4-point scores added together. Hopefully, we'll be able to bring you Korkina and Kochetkova's point scores, which we have been unable. Colleagues, Swedish television, choosing to focus on the action rather than staying with each performer. 9.825. Well, that is, from our point of view, a very generous mark indeed, but the judge's word is final, and Gogin has gone into 1st position, and after 2 rounds keeps the 2-3 Russian girls at bay.
Well, I am surprised, but that's it. 9.825 it is. Nice vault there, handspring front, 1.5 tucked with Barani out. She could choose to take it a 10th higher and get a full 10 tariff for the vault, but she may lose that on execution. Step back on landing, costly because the landing penalties very, very harsh. But a good kick out. That's a good extension from the somersault. Hearing a sigh there, somebody has fallen off something.
Svetlana Tarasevich, 9.512, the 15-year-old from Minsk in Belarusia, a town that's famous for its, or equally famous, I should say, for its male gymnasts. Of course, the hometown of the great Vitaly Sherbo and his new successor, Ivan Ivankov.
Oh, yes. Well, only a 9.9 tariff, but that was a super vault. The dynamics of the vault, beautiful. The amount of flight on, the angle of her strike onto the horse, the lift off into the 1.5 somersault, nice extension, and then the landing. Very good. Very pleasing to the eye. The extension and a very secure landing.
Almost an American slap of the hands from the approval of the Belarusian coach, Viktor Khomutov. And a much better second vault. That's 9.574. 11th position for Tarasevich, so she's on target for a personal best. And she seemed to be happy with her work so far.
And a totally new name. We've not seen her before. She hasn't featured in any of the junior events, so she's obviously been blooded in, ready for perhaps the team championships, which are later in the year.
Well, each major competition brings us a whole host of new names. And Klaudia Kinska, 15-year-old from Slovakia, coached by Marta Solarova, the last of the floor exercise performers.
And I think if nothing else, she may create a new fashion in leotards. With the gold on the edge, very, very beautiful indeed. Very fast moving, good music, good interpretation. Nice forward tumble, but not too prettily landed. Very different dance, and very good too. Well presented. Interpretation of the music good. Double whip, flick, double twisting somersault. Just the tumbling letting her down. Because unfortunately, not being critical, being observant, the gymnasts have to have qualities in every aspect of gymnastics. The dance, the elevation, the stretch, and not many of them have everything. There, the opening tumble, which was a double back with a full twist, but she really did struggle. Not a particularly powerful girl, and not handling the difficult element very easily. You see, she could never have put that at the end of the exercise, for example.
Well, that brings rotation 2 to a close. And Gina Gosian, well, she's proving us wrong and keeping us right on the edge of our seats in the commentary box here, because for the second round in succession, she has kept the trio of Russian gymnasts at bay to keep Romania in first position. Lavinia Milicevic scrambling back up as Klaudia Kinska there goes into 19th spot. Milicevic gets herself into the top 15 and will look to improve and hopefully see mistakes from the younger and less experienced quartet at the top of the leaderboard after the second rotation, with another 2 rotations before the European all-around title has been decided in approximately an hour's time. Gosian ahead of Korkina. Kochetkova is third. Bulikova goes up into 4th position for the Ukraine, her teammate. Kalinina is also 5th. Then the Spanish girl, Pacheco, is well on target for a personal best and possibly the best Spanish female performance we've seen for some time. And Podkopaeva there for the Ukraine down in 8th position. Milicevic now in 9th spot, so she's jumped from 17th to 9th. The question is, can she pull out the performance of her life? It really will need to be that good if she's to claim a medal in these European Championships. And also disaster, we were unable to see it, for Fabrichinova, the Russian girl who was lying in 4th position, and she had a disaster in her asymmetric bars performance. Piskin for Belarus there in 18th position, and Andreasen of Sweden, well, keeping the local crowd here in Stockholm, the Globe Arena, on the edge of their seats with a 17th position so far, and she also on target for a PB. 24 competitors have qualified for this final from 106 women who started doing battle in the team competition. Romania claimed gold in the team, and so far they're on target for their second gold of the European Championships. We're halfway through this final with another 2 apparatus to come. We'll take a short commercial break, but we'll be back with the 3rd rotation. Stay with us for more gymnastics in just a short while on Eurosport. The atmosphere is getting tense and more so as this competition for the all-around European Championship in women's artistic gymnastics starts to take shape after 2 rotations. Gaugian leads, the silver medalist in the European Championships 2 years ago in Nantes, ahead of the 2 Russian girls. Kochetkova is lying in 3rd position. Kurkina is lying in the silver medal spot, and I have to say that Kurkina looks the more settled, seems to be enjoying her work and not letting the nerves get the better of her performance. But Gaugian has proved us wrong through the 1st and the 2nd round. It was our feeling here in the commentary box that she may let the nerves get the better of her. We're at the halfway point, and Monica, will Russia get the revenge on Romania after that team competition?
Well, I don't know. I still think that the nerves did get the better of Gaugian, but they didn't get the better of the judges. I mean, it was an under-par routine. I did anticipate, I thought she did an extra swing, but when I looked it back on slow motion, it wasn't an empty swing. But it was just a substandard routine for Gaugian. And I think that to come out with a 9.85 is a silly mark. They have the final say, but it's a free world. We can all have our little say, can't we?
Well, rotation number 3 of 4 gets underway. The judge's word is final, and looking to impress the panel is Dina Kochetkova of Russia. Her first of 2 vaults, lying in 3rd position.
Well, a little arm wave on the landing, but a couple of those would do her good. And whilst I'm on my cause of Gaugian's bar score, there's nothing more annoying to rival gymnasts to see somebody get over the odds for a routine. And if they've got a little bit of extra, then I think that will drag it out of them. Because nobody is more expert than a gymnast to see through mistakes on a routine. But even though she didn't move her feet, Kochetkova, throwing the arms around on the landing, just as bad a fault.
Well, 9.700. It was a bronze medal in the all-around competition 3 weeks ago at the Worlds in Brisbane in Australia. And they're a very focused and determined young lady looking to go one better in the Europeans in Sweden. Vault number 2 with the aggregate score to come.
Yes, and that's what she should have done twice. Nice vault, handspring, front 1.5, Barani out. And if she'd plopped on 2 like that, then the second one would have scored higher. Because the judges are only human, and if they see 2 consistent vaults, 2 good vaults, the second one will just squeeze an extra 10th out of them. Pity about the first, but of course not the difficulty that Gaugian had, so she's not likely to get into the 9.8s. Or they're not the high 9.8s anyway.
First position with a total of 29.349 and a 9.8. Well, a very impressive second vault, and as our expert pointed out in the commentary box here, consistency is the name of the game, and in the vault you do need 2. Well, lying in silver medal position after 2 rotations of the 4 in this finale is Svetlana Kurkina. 16 years of age, she qualified 3rd after the team competition where Russia took the silver, allowing Romania to take the gold. Kurkina now looking to overhaul Gina Gaugian with her teammate Kochetkova in 1st position. Kurkina, silver medalist in the asymmetric bars in the individual finals. So she should be brimming with confidence here.
Nice combination, lovely work. Feet and knees a wee bit slack, but technique lovely. Pull him back out, good exercise, yes. Markelov in the middle. she swings so easily and it looks so effortless despite her length. But that routine, there was just no comparison between that exercise and Gaugian's. Now, I just wonder what the judges are going to give that. I'd just like to see the two of them on video, side by side. The variety, the difference of skill, the quality of skill, the ease of swing, the straightness of the arms. It had so much more than Gaugian's. 1.5 pirouettes. Under somersault, straight into clear to handstand half turn. Nice work. Lovely straight arms on the lift. Little slack knee on the straddle in the giants, like so many gymnasts do, and they incur a penalty, but there wasn't a lot to deduct on that exercise.
9.8. Leader Gaugian scored in her asymmetric bar routine. Korkina looking to put Russia into first position. The pressure on the Romanian and also take the lead away from her teammates, and she does just that. 9.862. Well, the crowd feel that it was possibly worthy of a 9.9, but Korkina goes into first position. Kochetkova goes second, and we'll await the third performance of Gaugian, well, on the edge of our seat. Julia Stratmann of Germany with her beam exercise. The first time that we've seen this promising young German perform in this all-around competition. Julia, just 15 years of age, 16 next Friday, and also 19th position in the World Championships. So another youngster that's improving with every competition she enters.
Julia qualified for the beam finals in the World Championships in Brisbane. I can remember saying that it was a difficult debut, a final of a World Championship, but she would gain experience from it, and that experience has probably got her into the top 24 in this European Championship. Flick, layout. And just disguising the wobble. Oh, she's becoming quite a master of disguise, and this is really what it's all about, improvising through the errors. Trying to keep moving. The more flowing the exercise is, the less likely the gymnast is to wobble and lose balance. And the audience muttering now as the temperature goes up. Oh! Desperate cries there for her to stay on. And so far she's done really well to land all the skills. And triple twist, yes, well done, Julia. And that's a much better performance than she produced in the individual apparatus finals in Brisbane.
It really is wonderful to see how a youngster gets their first taste of world-class competition and then come back from the Worlds to the Europeans, and it's oh so easy now for Julia. And for those of you that followed us throughout the World Championships 3 weeks ago on Brisbane, well, we saw a completely different character. Nervous, very sheepish, frightened, and now she's smiling, happy, and almost a world-class performer. Definitely a star in the making for Germany there. Natalia Kalinina for the Ukraine, one of the more senior qualifiers to this all-around competition. Still the Russian girls in first and second position. Korkina and Kochetkova, with Gaugian, the leader, after 2 rotations, still to come in this third round.
Kalinina, the oldest competitor in this European Championship. 20 and lying in 5th position. Double layouts. And already producing a quality of movement and a feel for movement far superior to many that we've seen. Pulling back out, rather low but fast. She really can move. And television, very deceiving. A lot of people might think she's quite heavy, but she's very, very slender in comparison to the very tiny children that we see compete against her. And I think this, the middle tumble, yes. Flick, whip, flick series into full in, back out. That the middle tumble. It was low and under-rotated. And the tumbling, the weakest aspect of her floor, but the dance, very good. And for Julia Stratman, a 9.662. Far better than her World Championship score of 8.8, I think she scored, with a fall in the middle and a sit down on the landing.
Fifth position for Julia as we follow the third round challenge of Jessica Andreasson of Sweden. Understandably, because these pictures are coming from the host broadcast of Sweden. But Jessica, well, she's had a very gutsy performance in the first two rounds. And, well, there's no prizes for guessing who the crowd are behind in this third rotation.
But this is the piece of all. Oh, no. I was just about to say, this is the piece on home territory where you really want to do well. And as I suspected it could have been a disaster. I think this is the end of her personal best. What a pity. The very time in her life where in front of her home crowd she would have liked it all to go well. Now, having got rid of her nerves, she's flowing freely. The anxiety of the moment with her home crowd probably produced a surge of adrenaline, and it's adrenaline that makes the nerves appear, because you really need to get rid of that surge to be calm and breathe evenly on the beam. But her pulse rate probably reached an all-time high, just as the judges said go. Well recovered. She certainly has to have 10 out of 10 for recovery, but it was just a pity because, as you said, Nick, she had a really gutsy first two pieces, and here she just didn't get it together. Placed her first foot badly.
We saw it in Brisbane, I was about to say, Monica, with the Australian girls, some very promising young stars, but just let the pressure of the crowd. It's good to see cheers, it's good to see support for the host nation, but it often adds that little bit of extra pressure, which here in Jessica's beam exercise just seemed to tip the balance.
Most certainly. It's the over-anxiety to please. Under normal circumstances, she'd have just thought about it and concentrated. Kalinina doing well, continuing her place of fifth with 9.6 for that floor exercise.
Well, hopefully we'll stay with the beam because it's Gina Gosian who is next up on that apparatus. Ninth position, 8.262. Well, she'll be lucky to hold on to that top 10 placing by the end of this rotation. but she shouldn't be too hard on herself. 33rd in the Europeans 2 years ago for Andreasen of Sweden. She's right on target. When we go to the asymmetric bars, sadly, we won't be seeing Gina's performance on the beam. Hopefully we'll see it off tape. But a good look at one of the rising stars of the Greek team, Virginia Karantzou, 15-year-old, and quite promising in the World Championships in Brisbane. 15th position there, and 11th in the European Juniors last year in Geneva. So a star that the Greek coaches have been waiting to break through onto the world scene, and this could be the championships for Virginia.
Yeah, she was very popular in Brisbane. Remember the Australian director following round, we saw all 4 pieces of apparatus. Nice tight gymnast. Good leg line. Good tension out of the bar. Half twist. Forward giant half twist. Back giant half twist. Double front. And that's how Lavinia Milicevic should have done it, because that's the move that Lavinia Milicevic came to grief on. And she plummeted from the lead down to 17th place on the first piece of apparatus. But she's now back up in the top 10, but very, very unlikely that she'll get into the medals. But a good performance there for the Greeks. Continuing the full pirouette on the top bar. And repeating that. And that the Tkachev, innovated by the men and copied by the women from the men's high bar. Because women train on high bar just as much as men do, because it gives them a tremendous feel for single bar work. And here they build into the dismount, double front flyaway. With a bit more practice, she'll have a half twist on that, and she'll be able to see the floor as she comes in, because a front landing is a blind landing and it's never a safe one.
Well, working and talking through the routine. There's Jelena Puskin there, who's just finished her floor exercise. Well, the Swedish director must have heard me, Monica. Gina Gosian, leading after 2 of the 4 rotations in this European all-around final. She's chasing once again Korkina and Kochetkova of Russia in the top 2 places. Teammate Milicevic is out of the battle. Gosian looking to claim Romania's 2nd gold medal of these European Championships.
Front mount, and it was solid. Gosian, a very hard-working gymnast. Flick, layout, flick. Change leg split into C-zone. An ordinary half turn. Very solid front. Split jump flick. But nothing out of the ordinary. Absolutely nothing out of the ordinary. Not any really unnecessary risk. Fulfilling the requirements, but not really going beyond the call of duty. Now the dismount. Flick to 1, to 2, and double back. Very, very solid. And tactically, that's really what she should have done, to hold on to first place. She really couldn't afford an error. Probably missed out a layout in her middle tumble. I would think this, which was flick, layout flick, might have been double layout, but she really didn't need it. She needed to stay on. So Gosian steaming ahead towards taking the European title, the first time that the Romanians will have won the title since Daniela Silovac took it in Moscow in 1987. And the Romanian camp really, really hungry for this title.
And she holds on to it, 9.912. Well, the judges really warming to each and every apparatus of Gina Gogin, and she's keeping the two Russian girls at bay. We've questioned in the commentary box whether she's got the nerve, the strength and the focus, but after 3 rotations, it is Romania still ahead of the two Russian challengers. This was the Romanian big favourite before the start of this European Championship, Lavinia Milicevic. She qualified for this final with an impressive array of scores. Disaster in the asymmetric bars. She started off in 17th position. She's now lying in 9th spot, and with her floor exercise in the individual apparatus, she claimed a silver medal in Brisbane, Australia. She will look to go into the top 5. And with the top 5 placing going into the 4th rotation, she'll then look for mistakes and the pressure to tell on the younger and less experienced athletes or gymnasts that are lying ahead of her. Milicevic now needs something very, very special if she's to claim a medal of any sort in these European Championships.
Well, the only ground she can get a medal is on somebody else's error now. With a 9.25 score for her A-bars, it would have to be somebody else making an error. Oh, yes. I think this would have been her championship had she not blown her bars. Oh, dodgy landing, nice triple twist though. Thought she'd hurt her ankle a little. Yes, smashing routine there from Lavinia Milicevic. One of the nicest I've seen her perform. A new routine from Brisbane, where even at Brisbane it was better than normal. It was rather ordinary, but that was spectacular. We doubted Gogin. We didn't really think that she had the bottle, but she's not only got the bottle, but I think she's had a little bit of help as well.
Well, there were many a critic that said that she was very, very unlucky indeed in the individual apparatus finals in Brisbane at the World Championships 3 weeks ago, not to take the gold in this particular apparatus. And it was the youngster, Dina Kochetkova, currently lying in 3rd position in this European all-around final, that denied Lavinia the gold medal. And in those 3 weeks separating the worlds and Europeans, she seems to have worked even harder on her floor routine. And as Monica pointed out, bar that mistake in the asymmetric bars, she would have clearly been ahead with this performance. The question is, can she continue to claw her way back up the rankings and hope that the pressure tells on the youngsters later on in the 4th and final competition. 9.850, and she goes up from 9th to now 5th position with 1 rotation to come.